Greetings everyone and welcome back to my wine diary. In this episode, I will be telling you about my experience so far with the WSET Level 1 course. Before we jump into today's video, please make sure to consider subscribing to this channel. That subscribe button is right down below, y'all know where it is, and it really helps my channel grow if you subscribe. If during this video you feel like you liked it or you're liking it so far, click on that like button down below as well. That helps my YouTube algorithm and this video to pop on somebody's thread for them to see it as well as a recommended video. And don't forget to click on the notification bell if you subscribe to my channel. In that case, you will be notified of the new videos that I post every single week. A little over 2 weeks ago, I signed up for the WSET Level 1 Beginners course. I guess you could compare it to the Court of Master Sommelier's Level 1 course as well. They're not really comparable, and I shot a separate video about that, so I'll link it right here on the banner for you to check. It's the comparison of WSET with CMS or Court of Master Sommelier. So you can't really compare the two, but I guess the equivalent to that would be that. So it's a total beginner's course. I probably could have jumped on level 1 just because I'm not a brand newbie to the wine industry, but I decided to start with the first one to refresh my knowledge and to see how they actually teach it from the very beginning. So the first thing that I wanted to address is the price. A lot of people ask about the price, although it's all over internet. You can find it anywhere really, but the level 1 course that I paid for, it's an online course, cost me $299 plus tax. Tax was $25, so altogether I paid $324 for this online course. Now what comes with the course, and this is, I think it's quite important to mention what actually comes with it, because I do have a tiny bit of disappointment on this note here, and I wanted to share that. So with the course itself, clearly you get access to the online academy, what they call it, which they give you 4 weeks to finish, and I'll jump into this in just a second. So you get all of your materials in printed version. I guess you can say they're online, but you can't actually save any of that, if that makes sense. So that's my disappointment part. I was expecting to receive an actual booklet, some sort of printed material to which I can always go back to and refer to and maybe refresh my knowledge years in a row in the future. So it was a little disappointing for me to not receive anything of that sort. So I'm not sure if it's just the online course that doesn't have any printed materials sent to you. I thought, okay, I'm doing the course online, but why not to send it to me via mail? So I have it. So basically, you get all of your information from those online courses. Some of it you can save. I'll give you a few examples of things that are downloadable and you can save them, which I did. But most of the course material comes in a video format, short videos embedded into each lesson, but then also just text on a screen that you're scrolling. And after 4 weeks, mind you, once you lose your access to the website, to the course, you can no longer have it. So I think that's one downside. Additionally to that, you get your wine kit. So wine kit is something that you need to claim as soon as possible. As you sign up for the course, they will send you a greeting email that will come to your inbox. Read that email very carefully. They give you steps on how to claim your wine kit. You basically go follow the link in the email that they send you, and then it prompts you to go to a separate website. It's a company that they work with called World Wine Master World, something like that. Master the World. Okay, my bad. Master the World is the name of the company, and you order your kit there. Now, when you say you order it, because it's already included in your payment in your course, you pay $0 for it. So they give you a code. It's like a discount code, basically, that you will need to input in to make the total cost $0 for the kit. The importance of that kit being ordered as soon as possible is really for you to have it once your course date starts. It may take a week or two for the kit to come. Mine came relatively fast. I think it only been it's been a week or so since I ordered it and it came. So I was on time with mine, but a lot of people wait until the beginning of the course and then their instructor reminds them, have you gotten your kit yet? And people think, oh, no, I have not. So they go and quickly order it. Well, it takes time to get back to you. So make sure to order to claim your kit. Once you have successfully signed up for your WSET, whichever level you're signing up for course online, it gives you options for the start date. So as you're paying for your course, you have to select the start date. It's not just any 4 weeks of any month that you can take that course. They actually have set days and dates, as there is a live instructor that is assigned to every group of people who sign up for a certain date of the beginning of the course. So as you're paying for it, you will see how it will tell you next course starts December 1st through December 31st. The one after that will be January 2nd through, I don't know, February 2nd or something like that. So it gives you a few options for the courses to come in the future. Mine started on October 2nd. Today is October 14th. I'm already almost till the end of this course. I have one more module left, and then I have course review and my exam coming up as well. So let's pause here for a second. Few things to mention. As you're signing up for your course, you paid for it, you ordered your kit, and everything is good to go. Remember that you're given 4 weeks to finish the course online. That means that regardless of the exam date that you set for yourself, which is most likely a little bit out in the future for you to have some time to digest everything and do maybe some home research on your end, to make sure that you finish your online course in 4 weeks indeed. After 4 weeks expire, you will no longer have access to that online course, and to get access to it again, you will have to be signed up for another course that's starting sometime soon, and that will cost you $100 extra. When it comes to the exam itself, I think it's very important for you to sign up for your exam as you're starting the course. Again, you will get an email sent to your inbox that will prompt you to sign up for an exam date in advance as well. The reason why you want to do it far in advance is because exam dates for some reason are quite rare to get. They don't have that many dates available, and all of them are far out in the future. I only assume it's because there's so many people who take the course nowadays, and also because all of the test results or all of the tests have to be sent to London, to the actual WSET school. So although I am taking my course through the Napa Valley Wine Academy, who is a representative or one of the representatives of the WSET here in the United States, all of the tests and final exams for whichever level you're going through will be initially sent to, or eventually rather, sent to London, to the actual WSET school. Now, because there's so many countries in the world and so many representatives that represent WSET school in the world as well, I can only imagine how many thousands and thousands of those exams they are receiving. So exams are usually available a couple of months in advance. To give you an example, my course started on October 2nd, and I was looking for the closest date available for my exam because I knew level 1 will not be difficult, and I probably already know all of the information in it. The closest date available was in December. So as I was signing up, I forgot to put some piece of information in my exam sign-up page, whether it was a misspelled email or something like that. So I chose my December date, but because I forgot to put my email correctly or something, it refreshed the page, and all of a sudden I saw one October date for the exam that popped up as well. So I think what probably happened is somebody canceled, or somebody decided to move their exam date, and I had that window opening for me. So luckily, I will be passing my exam on October 31st, which is coming up pretty soon. And for me, it's a better option because I feel like I will have all of the knowledge still fresh in my head. So that's just my advice. See if you can set up your exam a little bit closer to the 4 weeks that you have within the course for level 1. Hopefully by your course start date, you have already received your wine kit. I will insert a picture right here of how that kit looks like. As you can tell from the picture, I was super excited when it showed up. It looked super awesome. I was just excited to receive this wine kit. When I opened the kit initially, I did not see any wine names or wine styles or types on the label. So I immediately thought that it will be blind tasting. That was my first idea, only to find out a couple modules in when we were having our first tasting assignment that there was actually the label that you needed to peel off, and I will show you right here. So the bottle comes looking like this. I'm showing you the empty one. This is one of the ones that I already did my assignment for, so you can see how they're smaller bottles. But this is probably, doesn't say how much is in here, but I think this is a full glass of wine. For your tasting assignments, you definitely don't need this much. But just keep in mind that they're sending you very, very good quality wine. Every single one I've tried so far was really, really good. So that's a part of your tuition cost that goes into these guys. But as you can tell, they come absolutely labelless, except for this Master the World, which is the company that WSET work with. So here's the funny thing. Your instructor will then tell you in the back, there's this little label that literally says Wine 1, if you can tell. So you're supposed to be peeling this label off to discover what wine this is. So this one was the first one that we got to try, a 2019 Pinot Grigio. I didn't really understand in the beginning why do they cover the bottle for you to peel it afterwards and find out the name. To me, it's, either it's a blind tasting where they don't tell you, which is a little advanced for level 1, I think, or just put it somewhere up front. This whole peeling thing, it's a little unnecessary in my opinion, but cool nonetheless. It's like a little mystery that you have to discover. When it comes to the course itself, it's very well written. I think that it is designed in a very approachable manner to even beginners to the wine world. So it's really easy to understand and very easy to remember. Most of the modules and most of the lessons in every module come with the text only. Some of them have video portion to it as well. Some videos are filmed by your instructors, the actual instructor who you're assigned for your course duration. And then some videos are filmed by the actual WSET group or school, and you will see the difference when you hear some British accent on the WSET videos. But in general, it is very simply written, very easy to remember and very easy to understand. A lot of very good quality pictures. Everything is just broken down in pieces, super easy to remember. Now, every module and every lesson also have some interactive questions to play with your brain and make you remember things a little bit better. So expect by the end of every lesson at the very bottom, have some interactive questions that they will be asking you about the lesson that you just went over. So you will either have to drag correct answers to a certain empty box, or you just need to type in the correct answer as well. Now, that is not an exam yet, so you can always scroll up and see what the actual answer is, but try to train your brain here and just answer it from memory. Another thing that I really liked about this WSET Level 1 course is that they give you a little equipment list, or this prep list, for every single module and lesson that you will have to go over. So it's not only text. They want it to be as practical as possible. They want you to actually play with your palate, play with flavors, play with some assignments, so to say. So like for instance, for our module 2, which was also our first webinar out of a few that we have in this level 1 course, and we also had our first tasting in this one. They would let you know ahead to prepare, and by lesson 2.5 you would need to have some lemon juice, measuring spoon for tea, some tea, tasting glasses, a glass of drinking water. So they would want you to brew some tea, for instance, and they would want you to make it steeper in one cup and then a little bit lighter in another cup. So that was a good indication of tannins, which we taste in wine as well. So they just want you to play with something more approachable than wine, like tea, black tea, to see those tannins on your palate as well. Or for instance, in the very first module 1, in the very introduction level of this level 1 WSET course, the instructor told us to get 2 grapes, a white grape and a black grape. And we did a little experiment, so to say, with peeling the grape, because you could tell how it's only the skin of the grape that differs in color, and then both black grape and white grape are actually white in their flesh. So that was quite interesting. And then we would chew on the skins of the grape, of each grape, to see how tannic or how acidic they are. Actually, acidity is in the flesh, it's the tannins that are in the skin, but we would chew the skins to see how they are different in their tannins, black from white, and then we would chew on the flesh too to see how sugary it is, how acidic it is as well. So it was just a nice exercise. So this little equipment list tells you what you need for a specific lesson that you're going through. And then with module 5, for instance, that one was about food and wine pairings. So for this one, they would tell you to get a cookie, salt, slice of lemon, and then some mushrooms. So any type of food that can very greatly affect the wine taste, they're telling you to get just a little bit off so you can play with it and then sip your wine and see how it affects it. Now, there are a few webinars included in this level 1 WSET course. The first webinar was just an introductory webinar where your instructor shows up live. Ours was through a Zoom meeting, I believe. And then everyone who signed up for that particular course date was included in that webinar as well. So it was a lot of people, probably over 100, I think. And our instructor is in Napa. She is in California. So they would give you a time, Pacific Standard versus Eastern Standard Time. And you would log in and you can communicate. You can turn your camera off if you want to. I actually did, because I was doing mine in the evening. My fiance was cooking something in the kitchen and I was doing my course in my headphones. But the first webinar is just an introduction. So it can easily be skipped if you don't want to log in and participate live, but just remember that those courses will always be recorded and saved on the portal for you, so you can always log in and see what was going on. The reason I say that is because with the first one per se, there wasn't really much value in it for me. It was just an introduction to everything. I felt like the instructor went over every single thing that we already saw in the introduction of the course online, but she still wanted to reiterate and go over things. Now, because there are so many people participating in those webinars, expect for it to take some time. So although it says the webinar is from 7 to 8 p.m., for instance, when people start asking questions, type them in, because there is such an option to start typing in your questions and concerns and whatnot. She starts answering them and it takes forever. So it did take much longer. Now, the second webinar that we had also included the first tasting assignment that we had. So for that one, we had to print this little placemat, which I very successfully spilled some wine on. So typical. So we printed this, and then we also had our tasting notes for assignments as well. So it's a little sheet where you would type in your name, type, style, vintage, name of the wine that you're tasting, which you could find by peeling this little guy off. So they tell you which ones we're tasting, so you're grabbing just a few that you need for that particular assignment. And then as you're watching the webinar, as you're watching your instructor live, she's telling you, okay, now pour the wine into the glass. And we'll start with sniffing. Take your time, type in what you think is on the nose here. What aromas are you detecting? So you're typing things in, and she gives you enough time. And then she goes, okay, now it's time for us to sip this wine. So what do you immediately feel? Do taste buds or taste notes match with what you smelt on the aromas here? So again, you have some time to type things in. and then you submit your assignment afterwards. Now, the interesting thing there for me was that it was pretty interactive, and as we went through the tasting, she would ask us, okay, what did you taste in this wine? So you would see all of these people typing in what they tasted to see if it actually matched with what you tasted in the wine as well. Not to say that it has to 100% match what the others tasted or smelled for that matter, but I think it's a good indicator if 100 people on the webinar are smelling and tasting the same thing and you're the only one that smells and tastes something completely different. So maybe you need to spend some more time practicing, so to say, because majority of the time it should somewhat match with the rest of the group too. So that was pretty good. Lastly here, I wanted to mention that throughout the course and throughout each single lesson that you're going through, you will be asked some questions, and the questions are supposed to mimic similar questions that you will receive in your final exam as well. I found them very helpful to remember certain information, although most of the information in this level 1 I was already familiar with. Some things I still did not know, and it was really helpful for me to answer those questions by the end of every lesson in order to remember that. And I wanted to put a few sample questions here on the screen for you, so please go ahead and take a look at this. Guys, and here you go. This is it for today's video. I wanted to remind you that I will be passing my exam in just a matter of a few weeks, so I will tell you more about how that went. I wanted to film this video today to show you how my experience with this WSET course level 1 has been so far, and I am down to the last module, which is just the course overview. I can't wait to finish everything. I will then probably go over all of the information that I studied in each module and each lesson, which is, by the way, 6 total in the first level 1, so it's not that much. I will go over everything one more time before the exam, and I will most certainly film a separate video about the exam itself, how I passed it, what kind of questions that exam had, how was my experience with 2 cameras watching me as I'm passing the exam. So I think it's going to be pretty cool and pretty excited. My exam is actually on Halloween. It's October 31st, so it's coming up pretty soon. Before you click out of this video, just make sure that you're subscribed to this channel to see some other cool videos all about wine. Actually, we'll link one right here or right here, whichever side it's going to be on, WSET versus the Court of Master Sommeliers for you to check out as well. Like this video if you really liked it. Leave me a comment down below if you're prepping for your WSET exam right now, if you're going through the course, curious to see how you find it. And until next time, cheers everyone.